So this is the Pilates section of this week's weekly video boosters. And what I want to focus on this week is our shoulder strength, and particularly the way that we support our body weight using our shoulders. So there are some really important muscles that are involved, which often get really weak, mainly because of the lifestyles that we have, that we don't challenge this position at all. But also because it's just a muscle that can get very weak. It needs to be working quite a lot to be able to keep up its muscle tone and power producing. So one of the muscles is called serratus anterior, and that's one of the muscles that helps to keep the shoulder blade. So you can see my shoulder blade here winging in and out, and serratus anterior controls that position, but also controls this feeling of flattening the shoulder blade against the rib cage. So you want to think about your shoulder blades being sort of two wings on your back. When your wings pop out like this away from your rib cage, you will be able to see the definition around the shoulder blade. And when your wings flatten back against the rib cage, you wouldn't be able to see what you'd be able to see as muscle rather than the bones sticking out. What we want to get is that when we're on all fours supporting a position like that, we can start to understand how to challenge the serratus anterior to be able to hold that position. And what that allows, with the shoulder blade being in the right position, that allows the shoulder joint itself to be sitting in the right position for us to have full range of movement, full strength producing capabilities, so that we can pull, we can push, we can press up, we can carry, we can twist and rotate. We can do all of those sorts of things without getting any sort of neck strain, shoulder strain, upper back strain. So what we're going to do to start off with is be on all fours. So in this position, what I want you to be able to take a look at, and ideally you might want to do this in front of a mirror. So if you could do this side onto a mirror, you'd be able to help give your brain the feedback that it needs to see where your shoulders pop out or roll back into your rib cage. So if you can do it side onto a mirror, that would be brilliant. So taking a look at the moment, what I want you to see is, so I've got my knees underneath my hips, my hands underneath my shoulders. I can let my whole spine drop down towards the floor, and in this position, my shoulder blades are winging up towards the ceiling. My spine is really unsupported and pressed down. And then from here, what I want to think about is my whole spine lifting up and my shoulder blades coming back towards my rib cage. And so again, dropping back and through and widening, almost getting that feeling of widening the shoulder blades, but the shoulder blades come onto the rib cage. So we're pressing a little way, pressing the floor away, we're widening the shoulder blades, and at this point I can feel the strength that I'm needing to use to get my shoulder blades to work so that they're up against the rib cage. So from here, although we don't want to fix this position, so we don't want to walk around like I can't move anything now, I've got my shoulders in exactly the right place. What we want to do is to be able to feel how to get the shoulder blades in and out against the rib cage so that we know that those muscles can do the work. So what we're going to do also to start off with is, whilst we're feeling this, we're now going to bring some spine mobility into this. So starting off with a gentle arch and curl. We're just arching the whole back. You can breathe out as your spine arches. Let your head drop. Your tailbone is dropped down to the backs of your knees as well. And you're pushing through your arms to get your shoulder blades wide around your rib cage. And now to come the opposite direction, we're going to come up into the arch, lifting the collarbones up opening up through the extension of the upper body and letting the tailbone stick up in the air. So again, into the curl, pressing wide, lifting those lower ribs up and coming up into the arch. Lift, 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 opening up through here. Now just take care that you're not just doing it by lifting your chin. So we're not just tilting the head back, we're thinking about these collarbones opening up towards the opposite wall. And when we lift the collarbones, we're lifting the whole rib cage, and that's what's helping us to get this extension. Again, pressing through to curl the spine and coming back into wherever your comfortable mid-range point is. And now from here, we're going to lead the curve. Instead of getting the whole spine to move, we're going to lead the curve from the tailbone. So that is, we're going to roll the tailbone under, get the tailbone to tuck down towards the backs of the knees, roll through the spine so that we drop the head. And then from here, tailbone leads. Keep on pushing away with the hands so that as your head's dropped, you're still opening the shoulders, and then the tailbone does all the movement, and then we come up through the spine, lift up the collarbones. Again, tailbone is going to lead first. Tucking in, rolling through, and come through here. Now we're going to change direction. So we're going to lift the head first. Keep lifting the head, keep lifting the collarbones all the way through until the tailbone comes up. And again, dropping the chin. Roll through the spine and coming up into curl here. And again, tailbone first, roll through the spine, up through the collarbones. Tailbone first, roll through the spine, through here. Now we're going to walk the knees together and the ankles together, so your legs are completely together. Keeping this curl, we're going to push back, so you're pushing through your hands. Again, we're getting that feeling of the serratus working to slide the shoulder blades around the rib cage. So we're pushing back, and then we're going to come forwards again, keeping this curve. And now we're going to shift the feet around to the left and look down the left side of the body so that you can see the left foot. And keeping the curve, come back into the centre, keep the curve go out to the right. And twisting the back, looking down to the right toes, back into the centre. And release there. Now, we're going to challenge that a little bit further by taking the hands off, taking the legs off and things. So I'm just going to shift around so that okay, so again, just checking in what's going on with the shoulders. We're just being aware that as we push away, we're keeping some work in the hands, lifting out of the wrists as well, lifting out of the elbows. Inside the elbows, point a little way forwards so that we're getting that shoulder blade to connect in towards the rib cage as we do that. And now from here, starting off simply, we're just going to lift the left arm and come back down, and lift the right arm and come back down. And as you shift side to side, we're thinking about how we're stabilising the movement of the whole body by just working on the isolating of that shoulder blade, keeping that shoulder blade connected to the ribs. So what you want to watch for is that as you lift, say, the left arm, we don't get this shift over here, or we don't collapse, so that even though the elbow is staying straight, the serratus anterior has given up, supporting us on that side. So as we lift the arm, we're still thinking about this lift out here, lift under the armpit, lift through the chest, drawing that shoulder blade in towards the rib cage even more as we lift up and come back down. One more time each side, right and then the left arm doing the supporting, and come back down. And if you need to, shake the wrists out when we come back here. Now, if your wrists are hurting, by the way, you can go on to fists. It doesn't make any difference to what happens around the shoulders. And this might be more comfortable for you so that you're not getting a crunchy wrist. So from here, now we're just adding on a little way. You can add the breath in a little bit too. So as you breathe out, we're going to stretch the opposite arm and leg away from each other and come back down. And what this is doing is just adding on a little extra instability challenge. So we're having to work and think a little bit stronger about what's going on in the shoulder blade, the supporting structures on that side. Last one. And rest there. Again, if you need to, just spend a bit of time shaking your wrists out, opening them, closing them, flapping them around. All right. So we've got that feeling of how to get the shoulders in. Again, use some feedback if you can by getting the mirror down the side, especially if you're thinking, I think I'm doing it, I don't know, I'm not really sure. The feedback will make you go, oh, right, right, yeah, that's the way to do it. And that's what you want to be feeling, is so that you know whether you're getting the exercise correctly. So what we're going to do now is add on to that movement. So I'm going to stretch the opposite arm and leg away from each other. And now from here, we're going to keep on pushing through that supporting arm and stretch the arm and leg out to the side and then come back in. And open the arm and leg out and come back in. So as the leg and arm shift out to the side, we find that we have to push just a little bit stronger through that supporting side. So opposite arm and leg, open out, strong supporting shoulder, come back in and down. Obviously this is a glute exercise as well, so that's just an added bonus. Out, side, back in and down. Last time. Good. Okay, so now we're going to change the challenge. We're going to move the same arm and leg. So we're going to get the shoulders and arms moving a little bit, first of all, by doing something called an elephant walk. So with this, what we're doing is just allowing the shoulders to move again. So again, not allowing them to be stiff in the position that we find is right. We're going to get them to move. So we're getting them to move in and out of where we want them to be. Okay, and rest there. Now from here, I'm going to go with my left hand, left knee. So we obviously have to shift over to the right. Shifting over to the right, stretch the left arm and knee, leg out, back down and slide in. Now, what you want to do is aim to think of it like it's the easiest exercise in the world. If you think of it like, oh my God, I can't balance on one side, then that is going to stop you being able to do it nice and smoothly. Easiest exercise in the world. Shift, lift, and down. And out, and down. Again, thinking about even as we shift, we're lifting out of that supporting side and coming down. Shift, lifting out of the supporting side and down. Now, adding on to that, we're going to stretch the right leg away, and then from here we're going to swing that leg round to the left side. Keep on swinging it round to the left side, and eventually your right hand is going to lift up to follow it. So your right foot is now down flat on the floor. We're going to lift, stretch up, out and open, and then to come down we reverse. So we're leading with the hand, lifting out of this supporting arm and shoulder, leading with the hand, so it's going to pull the leg back in. So again, we're just getting some resilience from this supporting side, getting to challenge it in lots of different ways. So left leg's going to go out. It's going to swing over to the right side. Keep on swinging over to the right side. Keep on lifting up out of this side with your foot down. Open into a long stretch. And then reaching out. Keep reaching out. Keep reaching out. Left foot comes off the floor and coming back down and in. We're going to do that one more time on each side. Just getting that lovely long stretch and getting the work in the shoulder. Stretch the right out to the left side of the body. Let the arm pull off, lifting out of this side of the shoulder. Open the whole rib cage and the hip. And now coming down, we're reaching out with that right arm like you're trying to grab hold of something. Lift out of this left shoulder and slide the leg back in. Last time, working with the left leg. Left out and up. Rotate. Lifting out of this right shoulder all the way round. And open. And left arm is going to reach as far as it can and come back down and resting there. Great. So from those few exercises, we've got a little bit of work going on in the shoulders. So we're really able to feel where and what your full range of movement of those shoulder blades are. Hopefully it should let your shoulders feel a little bit of relief from any sort of stress they might be holding. And if you do get that, then it'd be really important for you to keep on repeating that sort of work as often as you feel like you can. So getting down onto the floor, getting some movement into the shoulders, getting some stability, reaching with the arms, and doing the opposite arm and leg would be great. So I hope you enjoy doing that, and I will see you next week.